Hi, I'm Paula B, and I'm a master mindset and business coach, and I have started a movement called Heart In, Hands On, helping people to find their passion, their power, and their badassery that they were born with. And I'm so glad to be with you, and I'm going to talk today about mindset and some things that the thing that probably impacts mindset the most is your care of yourself, self-care. So I'm going to tell you 3 things to think about with self-care that'll be sort of your guiding way. There's so much cliche out there about self-care that I kind of like hold back from doing this, but it's so important, and we need to be reminded, especially with this stuff that's going on now, to take care of ourselves. How we show up for ourselves is how we show up. So it's going to really impact your mindset. But first, let me tell you a little story about myself and self-care and how I learned that it was so important. So I grew up a little kid, and when I was little, I was playing with Barbies and doing what little kids do with Barbies, and I don't see my dad around for a couple of days. And I go to my mom and say, "Where's Dad? Why isn't he here?" And my mom stops what she's doing, and she looks right at me and she says, "Your dad and I are divorcing. He is gone, and I need you to step up and take care of things now." Well, as a 10-year-old kid, I did what 10-year-old kids did and perceived it in a different way than maybe she meant it. And I took that as, if I don't do everything, if I don't get everything right, I could be gone. I could be sent out too, just like my dad was. And I better hurry up and get with the program. So I moved forward as a 10-year-old kid, trying to do everything and be everything to everyone, trying to find love, trying to find attention, and trying to prove that I was worth it through doing. And I became this human doing. And I was one that had lists and 55-page long lists that I'd work from on Monday and try to get all 55 pages done. I was one into the grind. I talked about the grind. If you just worked harder, you'd get it. That was sort of my message. By the time I'm 30, I find myself in bed. Literally, I cannot get up in the morning. My body will not move. I start going to the doctor. I couldn't wake up. I couldn't stay awake. I was falling asleep during the day. And I was devastated because I felt like I defined myself through work and through what I was doing. And I hadn't had a vacation in years, didn't even know what vacation meant. All I knew was I was better if I was working. Now, on the surface, I looked really good. I had produced curriculums. I had a consulting company. I had all this stuff, but I couldn't get out of bed. The doctors looked at me. They couldn't really find anything wrong, but there's something wrong. So they started treating with me for depression. And I took the medication and found out I had like this depression and anxiety, or I was told that. And I thought that that solved it. I took the medication and went right back into it. And kept on. Long story short, by the time I'm, in my late 40s, everything crashed. I'm financially crashed. I'm crashing emotionally and everything. And I started looking into a program that helped me find out about me. I didn't even know who I was in my 40s. I don't know if anybody can identify with that. But I started looking into it, and I found out that if I took care of myself, things went better. And so I went on a journey to take care of myself. And so I know this stuff. I've lived this stuff. And if you're one of those people that lives by lists, what I hope you'll do today is put yourself, if you can't put yourself as first on the list, put yourself as second. Because it's so important. And we only go through this life one time, so we might as well enjoy it, right? So here we go. The first thing about self-care, number 1, is it's everything. You heard my story. When you don't pay attention to it, when you don't pay attention to you, you're losing connection with yourself. You're not going to be as effective. You're going to be tired. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but if you've seen it in yourself, you know that it's everything. So point number 1 is self-care, and how you show up for yourself and how you take care of yourself is everything. If you don't take care, and if you don't step back and you don't rest every once in a while, it's kind of a cycle. It's yin and yang. We put out energy and then we need to receive it. If you don't do that, and take care of yourself and rest and get, connection and get even energy again, you're going to crash. You're going to crash financially, emotionally, spiritually, every way. So first of all, self-care is everything. Point number one. Point number two is self-care comes in small ways. It can be all day long. It's especially cool to work on your self-care in the morning. I set up my self-care routine and what I'm doing for myself and what I'm doing to love my spirit and everything else in the morning. And I have an entire routine about it. And it sets the tone of my day. It doesn't have to take, I know some of you are thinking, oh my God, she's talking about this stuff. I don't have time for this. I got to make money. I got to do this. I got kids. And this weird stuff is going on right now. Yeah. It's even more important. And you know what? It doesn't have to take time, much time. You can get up maybe 10 minutes earlier and take a few minutes quiet just for yourself. You can go out for a walk for 10 minutes. It's the small stuff is very personalized. I know I can't give you a prescription for what will work for you to feel good and filled up and like, ha ha ha, there's that little giggle inside that I'm doing this just for me. That's what I want you to feel. So for me though, just to give you an example, I get up and I get my coffee right away. That is just something I do for me, even though it's been recommended by my nutritionist that I don't do it. It's something that I do just for me. And then I take the coffee and I go and sit. And I sit for about 5 minutes and just be. I'm in the world, I'm thinking about things, nothing in particular, just sitting there, kind of, waking up. I love that time. It's quiet. Everybody in the house is still asleep. I have a teenager, so he sleeps in. But I even did this when he was little. I'd get up a little bit earlier. And then I take my dog out for a little walk. And while I'm outside, I just appreciate like the quiet again, the flowers. I look for everything I can appreciate. And I also have a journal that I call the Book of Positive Aspects. And every morning, I don't spend very long. It's maybe 5 minutes. I literally put bullet points because I'm not one of those, journalers that go on and on. But if you are, that's great too. And I just put bullet points of what I'm appreciating. Always coffee makes the mark. It always makes the, I'm usually appreciating the quiet and I appreciate, whatever else is going to happen during the day and start looking forward to it. So my little morning routine at most takes 20 minutes. But when there's days where things aren't going on, I still do it. But I can do it in 10 minutes and so can you. So it's little things all day long. It's grabbing that little piece of chocolate. It doesn't have to be the whole chocolate bar. It doesn't always have to be about food either, but sometimes a little piece of chocolate, just kind of tickle inside that's ha ha ha, this is just for me. Anything you can do, and I want you to literally take a list and come up with things you can do for yourself that are little tiny things. And the thing is, it doesn't have to cost money. That was one of the things that held me back before about my self-care is I would think, oh my God, I don't have money. I got, that's why I'm working so hard. I got to bring in money. And it was like a bad cycle because I was so exhausted and so depleted that I wasn't able to think of new ideas and be creative and even get a raise. But it doesn't have to cost money. Going for a walk doesn't cost money. Smelling flowers, if you're out on a walk, doesn't have to cost money. Stuff does not have to be big stuff. So that's the second point. It's little things and it starts to fill your cup. What's in your cup? So your cup is everything. It's the first part. And then it's the small little self-care, I love me pebbles that you're putting in it. And then the last point is self-care is also the big stuff. So we've got a lot of small stuff that's the day-to-day stuff, but self-care can also, and we want it to be something you're looking forward to. So it could be planning that vacation at the beach. It could be planning a girls' weekend. I know that's what I look forward to. I got a couple of girlfriends that we kind of go and just be. And that does not have to cost a lot of money, but it is so important because it's telling you you're worth it. You're acting on your own self-worth, you're resting, you're doing stuff to fill yourself up. And when you get done, you're going to be more creative. You're going to be more excited. You're going to be a better mom. You're going to be a better wife, whatever that is. You're going to be more filled up. So even though this is counterintuitive, because we think if we just keep running, if we just keep going, if we just keep grinding, we're going to, you know, get there. We're going to have the $1 million. We're going to have the big house. We're going to be the best mom. And that is actually counterintuitive. If you're doing stuff to fill yourself up, it's going to come to you easier. You're going to be in the mindset of receiving, in the mindset of creating, in the mindset of expanding, and people are going to want to be around you because you won't be so grumpy and tired, and you're going to want to be around you because you won't be so grumpy and tired. So the other big things, remember we're on point number 3, which is self-care is also big. It's everything, it's small, and it's big. So fill your cup, the rest of the cup up with that big stuff. And that could be pedicures, it could be going, like stuff you're looking forward to, stuff that you're intending for yourself in a little bit in the future. It could be the next day, it could be, you know, the evening. But the bigger stuff is also part of the self-care picture and super important. So wanted to give you those 3 tips today, and also offer, I am a master business and mindset coach. If you want to talk about this further, or you want some more information on this, love to be with you. Please subscribe to my channel. You can subscribe right here. You're on YouTube right now. But I am also on, you can go to my my webpage, which is paulabcoaching.com. Paula, P-A-U-L-A, a capital B, coaching, COACHING.com. Glad to talk to you. Other things that I could, you know, help you with and offer with you. Glad to have a free session with you if you want to talk about it a little further. But really, go take care of yourself. And if I can be part of the picture of how you take care of you, whether it's the small thing or the big thing, glad to do that. Have a good one. We'll talk soon.